Bloody Roar 2, The New Breed.
Bloody Roar 2 is the coolest fighting game ever made. And before any potential viewers of this video who fancy themselves to be in the fighting game community take it upon themselves to hunt me down and rub mayonnaise on my arms or do other such unspeakable acts to me, I'm well aware that Bloody Roar 2 is not the best fighting game, simply the coolest. So please relax if you were indeed getting your shoes laced up and ready to go. Released in 1999 as one of the forgotten gems of the PlayStation 1 era, I hold this game in high regard and I love it very much, and I always have. One of my oldest memories, not just in games, but my life in general, are of playing this game. I was about 4 years old when I began playing Bloody Roar 2 on the PlayStation 1. I even have my copy of it from when I first got it as a wee little boy. I remember playing it while my dad would watch, and he would cheer me on when I kept losing to the opponent. He had no idea what the hell I was doing, and at that age, I hardly knew what the hell I was doing. But just hearing him say things like, "Watch out! Jump! Jump! Kill! Slaughter! Destroy!" to my 4-year-old, walnut-sized, childlike baby brain was enough to get me through the harder fights of the game. Such fond memories of playing Bloody Roar 2, but I don't really hear anybody talking about it, or see anybody on the internet talk about it, or the Bloody Roar series as a whole. I mean, it's totally possible that they are, and I'm just a fucking oblivious, moronic dipshit. Probably both. I'm just going to talk about Bloody Roar 2. There are 4 games in the series, well, technically 5, with one weird estranged cousin being on the GameCube and the original Xbox, but none of the other games are nearly as cool or as charming as the second game. Bloody Roar 2 is a fighting game just like any other. You punch, you kick, grab, and block, but the other thing that sets this game apart from other fighting games at the time, and to this day in fact, is that characters can turn into humanoid animals, which gives their attacks more power and, as the title would suggest, result in more blood and carnage spewing from the characters' polygonal bodies. You can do combos just like any other fighting game, and I'm terrible at them, but during the credits of the game, you can see the characters doing them, so I know that they're in the game and that they're possible to do, and they look pretty badass. Each character also gets their own little cinematic special move. They all look absolutely awesome, but use of one of them will turn you back into a human. These moves can be blocked, so if you miss, you're fucked. Another thing that was relatively unique at the time was that the boundaries of the stage can be broken. If you send the enemy flying through the air using a powerful attack, if that attack would have been the finishing blow, the walls of the stage will break, sending your opponent to the infinite darkness of the PlayStation 1 era backgrounds, an emptiness reminiscent of my soul. Darkness consumes all, consume me into the abyss. At first glance, this game doesn't seem all that special. It's just a basic PlayStation 1 fighting game, no different from something like Tekken or Virtua Fighter. But it's when you play it, you start to see that cool factor, that charm that the other games just don't really have, like the one that we are currently talking about today, entitled Bloody Roar 2, The New Breed. Immediately upon booting the game up, you're met with this super sexy, orgasm-inducing voice saying the title of the game.
Bloody Roar 2, The New Breed.
The title screen alone is like a beast's mouth with this edgy, jagged, glowing, intimidating font, already adding a check plus and a gold sparkly star to the gradebook of what makes anything cool. The character select screen also looks like this, with the beast's mouth opening to show the characters that you can select from. So much love and attention given to the menus in this game, Persona 5 would shiver with jealousy and quake with envy. That's the same thing. One of the coolest things about this game is the story mode. During the game's story mode option, you'll be presented with this incredibly cheesy but amazing anime opening. And then you'll get to choose your character, and you'll play their unique story path. Each character's story is presented with this amazing art style, and every character's story interacts with one another. It's pretty cool. Normally, each character's story will end up with them going to the Tylon Corporation laboratory, I think that's what that is, to fight Buzuzima. who is the main villain behind all of the trouble. And I mean, of course he is. Look at this guy. He's either in a metal band, or he's an evil scientist conducting experiments on unsuspecting people. And when I say metal band, I mean a band that plays metal music. Although, to be fair, if he was squeezed by a metal band, I wouldn't be surprised if the squeezing from such a band would cause one's tongue to flop out, just like a cartoon in his character portrait. It makes total sense. Anyway, after the fight with Buzuzima, you'll fight Shenlong, or you'll fight him first, it kinda depends on the character you pick, who is an evil clone of Long, created by Buzuzima. And then after that, you'll fight Gato, who will kick your ass no matter how good you are at fighting games. He's a very hard fight, and he kicked my ass a lot as a kid. In fact, he kicked my ass like last week. In fact, he kicked my ass like yesterday. In fact, he's currently kicking my ass right now. Daddy. He's fucking bullshit. The story mode is actually very interesting, which is something that I wasn't really used to being in fighting games as a kid. Actually, I'm not super familiar with fighting games to this day having such an off-the-wall, bonkers story. I know that Dragon Ball FighterZ had a weird story, but I wouldn't go as far as to call that interesting. It's pretty much just like a Dragon Ball story, something you'd expect from that series. If there's any other fighting games with interesting stories, please let me know in the comments because I'm actually genuinely curious. I don't know of many of them. A little side note, the opening cinematic for the arcade mode is fucking awesome. Fucking check this shit out. Fucking look at this. Man, Bloody Roar 2 is so fucking awesome, from the artwork, to the character designs, to the deep voice announcer that makes me swoon in my chair.
Bloody Roar.
Look, this game isn't perfect. The combos aren't very intricate, and the special moves that require quarter circle inputs, similar to when you have to perform like a Hadouken in Street Fighter, they only work about half the time. Or that's just me, and I suck at the game, but when I was playing, most of the time when I wanted to do something like that, it wouldn't work, and I would have to input the command over and over again before it would actually work. But then again, that could just be me, because I suck. Surprisingly, despite that, this game still feels really good to play. I thought going into this video that I was going to capture footage of this game, and in memory, it was going to be so fucking cool because I have such fond memories of playing this game. But then when I played it again, it was going to be fucking terrible. But that wasn't the case. I went back to play this game to capture sweet footy for this video, and I ended up playing it for hours, getting sucked into the gameplay, wanting to do the combos as the characters, and actually getting into the story all over again. It was fucking awesome. This game is so good. I recently, or kind of recently, made a video on Devil May Cry 5, and in that video, I went over how you can tell when a developer cares about the product they're making and puts a lot of heart into it. That's the case here. The actually interesting story that has all of the characters connecting in some way, the little sound clips of the characters saying shit like,
"Lucky it wasn't a full moon. You're too weak to defeat me."
And Jenny the Bat doing this, and saying shit like this.
You're sexy when you're in pain.
Each character is unique, even for a fighting game that falls into this category. With a nurse that turns into a fucking rabbit and literally kicks the shit out of you and knocks you around like a soccer ball. I mean, she actually turns you into a soccer ball and kicks the shit out of you. To a ninja that turns into a giant mole and uses his giant claws to corkscrew around someone's neck. To a boxer that can turn into a wolf and for some reason can launch himself into the air like this, because that's what wolves do apparently. Each character has super cool victory animations that turn them back into a human with like this really cool explosion transformation sound effect with this pink bubble that goes around them for when they transform back into the human. Fucking awesome. I also love the gross, squishy, gooey sound effects that accompany the incredibly brutal attacks, like Bakoiru ramming his giant claw into someone's stomach and have the blood just spew out as the opponent clutches their ripped out innards. Yugo grabbing someone by the throat and throwing them into the air as the blood follows them through the ground in a trail of crimson blood glory. Jenny chomping down on the opponent's neck like a vampire, and also using her claws that make you practically feel like you're piercing the enemy. I love being in Long's tiger form and grabbing somebody and just stomping them into the ground and slashing their face. The attacks in this game are so brutal. I love the cinematic special moves like Bakoiru shooting fire and then cross-slashing through the enemy. Gado's special attack where he literally backhands the opponent across the stage. Jenny's move where she slams you into the ground and then apparently gets off while doing it. I love the satisfying replay when you win in a stylish fashion and have this weird afterimage effect as you move and the screen turns completely white. I love the unbelievably satisfying sensations of hitting someone so hard they go flying through the wall of the ring. I love how cool and satisfying it is to sprint towards somebody and transform mid-attack, throwing them against the wall. Everything about this game is just so fucking cool. It's really a shame that they stopped making these games. I feel like if they were made today, they would be really well received for how insane they are. Someone way more talented than I am, who can actually make games, should make like a carbon copy of this game just with updated graphics and just call it something like Crimson Barrage or Carnage Clamor or some other synonym of roar like that. By the way, you can have those titles for free. Just, mention my name somewhere. Or you can give me a voice credit. That'd be fucking cool. I fucking love Bloody Roar 2. This game is so special to me. When I was a kid, I primarily played fighting games. I used to play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, Tekken 2 and 3, and even Virtua Fighter. You name it, I probably played it. I fucking loved fighting games as a kid. And I loved all of those games too, but they were mainly just people who could fighting each other. They had special moves like shooting Hadoukens, shooting ice, using weapons, and being a devil and shooting laser eyes for some fucking reason. But it boiled down to fighters fighting in a tournament. Bloody Roar 2 was different. It had an interesting story, interesting characters that interacted with each other, fighters you could transform into animals, cool cinematic moves, brutal sounding and brutal looking attacks, and stage walls that could be broken. The other fighting games that I played just didn't really do those things. Maybe they had one of those factors or two of those factors, but Bloody Roar had all of them, and it was fucking awesome. Bloody Roar 2 certainly was a new breed. Bloody Roar 2. Hey guys, and thank you for checking out the video. If you guys liked it, be sure to slap the like button. And don't forget to subscribe if you indeed feel like subscribing. It's up to you. Either way, until we meet again, goodbye.